This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. During an argument with my girlfriend, I saw a message from her male friend. Did he really get mad just because I kissed you during truth or dare? This kind of poor guy is just for fun, don't take it seriously. Later when I got engaged to someone else, she questioned me with red eyes. I smiled and said, we were just playing around, don't take it seriously. On Hailey's birthday, she wore a sexy outfit, but refused to let me take her to the bar. I glanced at her bare back and softly asked her, is it because of Tony again? Hailey paused, her finger hovering over her lipstick, and her tone grew impatient. Can you stop fixating on Tony? I've told you before, we're just ordinary friends. See, she knows I can't stand Tony, yet she never reflects on her own issues. Just thinks I'm making a big deal out of nothing. I remained silent, but Hailey seemed to realize her attitude was off and softened her voice. Stop overthinking. I'm not taking you because of my social circle. Haven't you said before that you don't like my friends? I'll be back before midnight, and then we can have some time alone. Be good and wait for me at home. As she spoke, she leaned close and kissed me softly before grabbing her bag and leaving. Her ultra-thin dress, when she bent down, revealed a bit too much. I had brought it up many times, but each time only led to an argument. Hailey always said, only incompetent men would care about what women wear. A capable man would think only of protecting his girlfriend. But how could I protect her? Every time she went out with her party friends, she'd say those people weren't familiar with me, and bringing me along would be inconvenient. This time, I said nothing. When Hailey reached the door, she hesitated, turning back to look at me. Honey, why aren't you caring for me? Oh, it's my birthday today. It wouldn't be nice to not invite them. I promise you, I'll hang out with them less in the future. I didn't reply, just smiled vaguely. She had no idea that it wasn't just about this time, that I wouldn't care for her anymore. From now on, I would stop caring about her at all. Hailey and I once shared wonderful memories together. During the internship, I worked so hard that I often forgot to eat. She would bring me lunch boxes claiming that she made them herself. Then she would smile and watch me finish, insisting that I go buy her favorite ice cream. On those sultry summer nights, she would complain about being tired just after a few steps, asking me to carry her. Hailey smelled nice and was light as we walked down the street to buy her beloved Haagen-Dazs. Before walking back to the company to leave in the car, I enjoyed this simple happiness. But Hailey complained many times, saying I lacked romance and didn't know how to make a girl happy. To please her, I often searched online for dating tips, racking my brain to entertain her. Looking back now, the whole internet teaches men how to care for their girlfriends, but why doesn't it teach them how to love men? Later, I found her too close with her childhood friend Tony, and I expressed my concerns a few times. At first, she patiently explained, but later she became more impatient, saying it was normal for friends of the opposite sex, claiming Tony was her male best friend, and their friendship was absolutely pure. After arguing extensively, I chose to part ways peacefully, until 3 years later when I encountered Hailey again at work. She worked at the client's company, helping me achieve a lot of results, not to mention bringing lunchboxes to remind me to eat. In front of our coworkers, she passionately declared that she regretted losing me and had been single all these years waiting for me. Her words were so heartfelt. Amid the cheers of everyone, I drank too much, and we got back together again. Everyone said Hailey loved me deeply, that women like her were rare, and urged me to cherish her. But if she truly loved me, how could she remain so ambiguous with another man? That day, I must have drunk so much that I believed dogs could change their ways. I lit a cigarette, changed clothes, and went out. In the bustling S-City nightlife around 7 or 8 o'clock, there were couples everywhere. I bought beer and barbecue, sat quietly by the roadside, and set a goal to watch a movie I had always wanted to see. We had planned to watch this movie together before it was released, but now it was about to leave theaters and Hailey could never find the time. She had too many friends, and whenever I tried to steal a moment with her, she would firmly refuse, saying, I already made plans with my friends, I can't forget my obligations. But now I've come to terms with it. Without Hailey's movie or her constant chatter beside me, I found I could concentrate more on the plot. As the movie ended, I turned and spotted a couple passionately kissing in the middle of the square. The crowd cheered, yelling for them to be together. After they had enjoyed their moment, the man turned, wiped his lips, and smiled mischievously. Who just said I can't play this game? Kissed already, now go home and have fun. It was Tony. I paused, seeing the woman blushing in his arms. Of course it was Hailey. Across the crowd, Hailey saw me, breaking away from Tony and quickly running toward me. But sadly, I didn't wait for her. By the time Hailey hurried home, I had already packed almost everything. The thought of breaking up with her wasn't new. I was just waiting for a chance to completely let go. Now the moment had come, yet she panicked completely, rushing over to hug me. Rocky, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I just drank too much today. And during a dare, they told Tony and me to kiss outside. I thought this might be the last time we see each other, so I didn't refuse. I won't do this again. She reached out, trying to snatch the suitcase from my hand, but I turned and dodged her. All this talk was pointless. If there was nothing between them, why would friends specifically tease them into kissing? The H family and the T family were already the wealthiest leaders in their circle. If there wasn't a green light, how could they even dare? I originally wanted a peaceful painful breakup. But upon hearing those words, I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. Look, she knows why I want to leave, and she knows where she went wrong. But before, why did she boldly make excuses for herself? Are you saying you're sorry for betraying my trust, or are you sorry that I shouldn't have seen it? Hailey's expression stiffened, as if my words had pierced her heart. Her long eyelashes fluttered, and in an instant tears welled up in her eyes. Seeing that I wasn't soothing her like before, she paused and softened her voice to apologize, saying it was truly just an accident, that she didn't expect Tony to suddenly kiss her. I didn't believe her, especially since her phone on the table had already lit up. I quickly saw the contents on the screen. Tony was even still her start contact. I had doubted it before, but Hailey said she had removed him. Clearly she was lying to me again. Just a dare, and he kissed you. And he really got angry. He's stingy and broke. Why would you like someone like that? Having fun is fine, but don't take it seriously. Hailey noticed too. She awkwardly flipped her phone down, then leaned back against me again, extending her arms for a hug. She used to be so spoiled, but now getting closer. I caught the smell of smoke mixed with her perfume. I didn't know if she had been smoking behind my back, or if it was from Tony. Either way, it made me feel sick. A deceitful liar. Seeing my cold gaze, Hailey froze, and then nervously nudged me. Hubby, I'm a bit drunk today. Let's sleep first and discuss it tomorrow, okay? You know what they say. Fighting at the head of the bed leads to harmony at the tail. Tonight, I'll listen to whatever you say, alright? I couldn't help but start to reflect. Maybe it was in the past, when I always obeyed my girlfriend, that made her think she could turn the page like this. But there are so many women in the world. Why does she think I would only want her? So I smiled. Listen to me. Fine, then let's break up. Hailey didn't expect my response. She hesitated for a moment, and perhaps having run out of patience, she directly pushed me onto the sofa. Rocky, are you done yet? I already told you Tony is just a normal friend. We were friends in elementary school. I can't just disregard him because we started dating, right? If you want to leave, return all the gifts I gave you. Hailey came from a well-off family, always looking down on my way of living, making me feel like I brought her shame. So she gifted me expensive watches and suits, insisting that I dress according to her preferences. I stored those things in the guest room, not taking a single item with me. Before leaving, Hailey's eyes were red. Her proud back had bent down. She said, Rocky, I agree that you need some time to calm down, but I absolutely do not agree to break up. I ignored her, stepped out, and blocked her. But Hailey wouldn't give up. She came to my office every day. After all, she was the client. My colleagues gave her some face, some even praised her in front of me, telling me not to be so ungrateful. In response to such comments, Hailey always blushed, pretending to be modest. No matter how much I warned her, it all fell on deaf ears. After 1 or 2 times, I didn't want to save her face anymore. I directly retorted, yeah, I may smoke and drink, kiss other guys behind my boyfriend's back, but I'm a good woman. Isn't that right, Hailey? Hailey's face turned pale. Infuriated, she cursed at me. I simply turned a deaf ear, and the next day, I requested a new point of contact at the company. No matter how many messages she sent, I stopped replying, until later Tony came to find me in person. It's quite funny, ever since our breakup, Hailey has been posting vague statements, along with some emo songs and captions on her social media every day, playing the role of a heartbroken lover to perfection. This led Tony to feel pity for her, and he came to confront me, the unforgivable jerk. The moment I accepted his friend request, Tony sent a lengthy message filled with condescension. Rocky, do you think you are someone special? A poor boy from an ordinary family. If it weren't for Hailey liking you, none of us would spare you a second glance. You and we are from 2 completely different worlds. So how can you blame Hailey for not including you? Let me be direct. It's us who don't allow her to include you. What are you actually expecting to transcend social classes just because of a relationship? I didn't respond. I just took a screenshot and sent it off to Hailey. P.S. Keep your dog on a leash. Hailey's call came through shortly after, but I didn't pick it up, so she called again. This made me regret a bit. When I blocked her on WeChat a few days ago, I should have blocked her phone number too. But Hailey is a stubborn person. I blocked one number, she called again with another phone. When I finally answered, she sounded like a pea shooter shooting words wildly. Rocky, you finally want to talk to me? I've thought a lot over the past few days. I really like you. I can withdraw from the circle for you. Can we get back together? You're still thinking of me, right? If not, you wouldn't care about Tony's provocation. Give me another chance. I took a deep breath, shocked by Lady Hailey's overwhelming confidence. After a while, I asked a question. What do you think about what Tony said? He just doesn't want to see me sad as a friend. In the future, I will introduce you to each other to clear up the misunderstandings. I fell silent. I was deeply impressed by Lady Hailey's logic. Why did she think Tony and I could clear up misunderstandings? In other words, if we knew each other, it would solve the problem. Why didn't she introduce us back then? It was nothing but self-deception. I scoffed softly and spoke slowly. Hailey, do you want to marry me? Suddenly, there was silence on the other end. I didn't rush her, just patiently waited. It seemed she didn't realize the reason I made my decision wasn't just her closeness with Tony, but the most important point, the incompatibility of 2 different circles. We were fundamentally unsuitable, and I've always been looking towards marriage. Hailey sighed gently as if gathering tremendous resolve. Rocky, I really like you and want to marry you, but you know my family won't agree. I nodded, hiding the vague irritation and pain inside. And I retorted, yes, that's the problem, so don't bother me anymore. After clearing things up with Hailey, I set up a whitelist, not answering any unknown numbers. It wasn't until I received the termination notice from the company that I realized Tony had pressured the firm using family influence. Out of revenge for Hailey, on my last day of work, my boss took me out for a drink. Rocky, I really believe in you. Originally, I was planning to promote you next year. I didn't expect this to happen. You probably can't stay in S-City anymore. We're both from the same hometown. Let me introduce you to someone. You can go back and give it a try. I had long been fed up with the 996 grind of the big city, and with an N3 compensation in hand, I forced a smile, grateful that I still had my hair. Then I packed my luggage and bought a ticket back home. To my surprise, Hailey chased me down to the high-speed train station. She had somehow learned the tricks, holding a loudspeaker and confessing her love at the station. As soon as I stepped into the hall, I heard the commotion outside. Rocky, I love you. I really love you. Can you stop avoiding me? Please don't go. Stay with me. I'm willing to give up everything for you. Forget about status or identity. I don't care anymore. Just come out. Take one step towards me, and I'll take the remaining 99 steps. I've got my ID and household registration. Let's go get the marriage certificate today. What the hell was this? For a moment, I really wanted to rush out and tell her that there's no antidote for regret in this world. Even if she wanted to marry me now, I wasn't interested, but I thought better of it. Hailey was too obsessive. If I showed up, it would only bring more problems. Dragging my suitcase, I ran even faster. Fortunately, the high-speed train station required ID verification for entry, so I wouldn't have to endure the gaze of ticket inspectors. Little did I know, that day Hailey's shouting outside the train station was recorded, and thanks to her striking looks, she quickly went viral online. She opened an account, posting videos about her love story with her ex, drawing a large fan base. As more photos circulated, my days back home became increasingly difficult. Young people would often approach me on the street, asking if I was the ex-boyfriend everyone was looking for. I put on a show for them, going a bit crazy. Yes, it's me. She approached me because her male friend couldn't satisfy her, and when I refused to help her swap kidneys, I fled back from S-City. Take my advice. Stay away from Hailey and Tony, or you'll be in for some misfortune. Who knows if she decides you're suitable? What if she wants to swap your kidney too? I fought rumor with rumor. Later, Hailey's comment section became increasingly bizarre, and she started posting videos less frequently. Thanks to my former boss's recommendation, I connected with a leader back in my hometown and found a decent paying job. At a class reunion, I even bumped into my first love. Originally, this group of classmates had mostly scattered. It was my childhood friend who heard I had returned and insisted on gathering everyone he could contact. Among them was Serena. True to her name, Serena was as sweet as cherry blossoms. Even when we all wore the same school uniform, she always looked a little better, and her smile revealed two adorable dimples. She had a gentle personality. Back then I was lively and often teased her on purpose. Serena would glare at me in anger, threatening to ignore me next time, but in reality, she always ended up talking to me again. In high school, studies were demanding, and Serena was the only light in my heart. Just thinking of her made me feel I could keep going. I once thought about going to the same university as Serena. Unexpectedly, she later changed her plans, staying local, and we gradually lost touch. My high school crush was beautiful and innocent. At that time, I didn't even think about wanting to possess Serena. After all, she was the goddess of our school, my light. Few boys didn't like her. For us, she was like the high distant moon, unreachable, but just gazing at her brought happiness. Yet now at the dining table, Serena faced everyone's teasing and quietly blushed. Serena, why couldn't we reach you before? How come Rocky comes back and you're here? The campus flower is becoming a teacher. Goddess, you're still a goddess. Whoever the lucky man is, to marry her. Back in high school, Serena sat in front of Rocky and even gave him extra lessons. But Rocky seems to have a girlfriend, right? I shook my head and raised my hand to open a bottle of wine. What nonsense are you talking about? I broke up ages ago. Serena's eyes instantly brightened. She hesitated, glancing at me and then at the other classmates. When I went out to the bathroom, she stopped me. Two also had pure feelings. Rocky, they weren't wrong. I did like you back in high school. I was stunned, unsure whether it was because of her feelings or her straightforwardness. Then without thinking, I asked, what about now? Now, it is. Serena lifted her head, her pale cheeks shining under the corridor lights, her almond-shaped eyes glistening, exuding a gentle warmth. On that day, amidst the lamentations of old classmates, we came together. However, I never expected Hailey to be so obsessive, chasing me all the way from City S. She brandished our photo, starting to spread rumors, claiming I had a seamless connection, and that Serena was the interloper in our relationship. Brainless fans launched attacks against us, even writing complaint letters to Serena's school, demanding her expulsion for her alleged misconduct. Gossip can hurt a person the most, especially for those who value their reputation above all. This time, I could no longer endure it, and I began to fight back. Faced with the rumors online, I directly organized a complete PPT. Let them have a good feast of gossip. From her intimate gestures with Tony during our relationship, to later when they shared passionate kisses at Adventure Square. square. Then Tony provocatively forced the company to fire me, in response to Hailey claiming that I was using her money to support a mistress. I revealed detailed transaction records. It's true that she spent some money on me during our relationship, but I spent even more on her. All the gifts she gave me were returned. I engaged in this relationship honorably and with a clear conscience. On the contrary, she would complain about my gifts behind my back with Tony, but also always hinted at wanting presents from me. She said that giving money couldn't prove my love for her, but not giving money certainly meant I didn't love her, especially since Tony, posing as a male best friend behind the scenes, poured salt into my wounds while giving gifts to Hailey, claiming that friends truly loved her. Hailey was brainwashed by him and always felt I wasn't good enough. During our relationship, aside from rent, I spent the majority of my money on her, living frugally, but she took it for granted. Now that we've broken up, she realizes my value and wants to pressure me into coming back through public opinion. I don't know who gave her such poor advice, but I absolutely won't eat this old bait again. The online narrative flipped in an instant, and both Hailey and Tony's identities were uncovered, causing both their family stocks to drop significantly. Hailey helplessly posted a sobbing apology video. She repeated apologies, saying she didn't know she had caused me such distress, nor did she realize Tony's insults towards me, stating that she just loved me too much and couldn't accept losing me. But the netizens aren't fools. Under the new apology video, there were countless comments tagging Tony. Yes, such love. Love enough to kiss the heir of the T family behind someone's back. Poor boy has no right to date. Hanging on to someone while having adventures with the T family heir, no complaints. Just playing around. Why is Miss Hailey so relentless? Couldn't that be true? This circle is beyond them. Comments like these grew in number, forcing Tony to also post an apology video. He had visible bruises on his face, seemingly having been reprimanded by his family. After all times have changed, netizens pose a certain threat to capital now. Tony shouldn't have laughed at the grassroots while earning from them. Later I found fortune in misfortune, as my followers on the platform surged. Serena, hurt by the school's attitude due to public opinion, decided to quit her job and started trying her hand at social media at home. Unlike Hailey's ongoing style of playing the victim, she simply recorded some couple vlogs. Sometimes we would film ourselves holding hands while walking through the supermarket. Other times she would film herself cooking for me while I sat beside her, encouraging me to finish my meal. Her clear and refreshing style unexpectedly attracted a wave of fans, until one day Serena pulled me in to film a QA session. She specifically brought up Hailey's comments. "Rocky, remember how I used to make you lunchboxes every day? Did you really forget? You two keep reminiscing about our past. Doesn't that show you miss me too? How annoying." I was somewhat speechless and quickly explained, "That's not true. I always knew Hailey couldn't cook. She just ordered takeout and pretended it was homemade. Who stores their homemade steamed eggs in plastic containers? I just played along in the relationship because I didn't want to spoil the mood. Let's not mention other things. I tend to be quite boring. Some girls think I'm a bit dull, not understanding romance. To me, a date is simply going out to eat, watching movies, or grocery shopping, allowing you to be part of my otherwise plain daily life." However, after the video was released, Hailey didn't stop there. She repeatedly compared herself to Serena, noticing similarities from appearance to behavior, as if trying to prove Serena was merely her substitute. So Serena took me back to old grounds, dressed in our school uniforms, visiting our high school alma mater. In the video, she sat at a desk, turned to look at me, saying, "I fell for you 3 times. Once in high school, once now, and every time in the future." Finally, Hailey deactivated her account and stopped commenting because netizens uncovered that Serena had been single all these years. She was clean and beautiful, completely different from Hailey. At the end of the video, I took out a ring, kneeling on one knee. "Miss Serena, would you like to get engaged to me? Perhaps this diamond isn't too big right now, but I promise to give you all my love." The engagement preparation went smoothly. Our parents met, and they were all quite satisfied with each other. Serena's parents were both teachers, strict but with good values, while mine were both employed in stable jobs, not seeking wealth but certainly not lacking for basic needs. No one expected that such a dignified engagement banquet would be interrupted by a few Bentleys. Tony barged into the hotel with Hailey. He must have been used to being arrogant when hotel staff tried to stop them. He simply threw a stack of money in their faces. "What are the rules? Is it just that you don't like the money? Is this enough? Get lost." Hailey ignored their ruckus, her eyes fixated on me as she slowly approached. They seemed fully prepared, and she was even wearing a wedding dress more extravagant than Serena's gown. I was amused by their audacity, subconsciously protecting Serena behind me, and coldly questioned them. "This is my engagement banquet. You two have made enough noise, just get out of here." Tears instantly fell from Hailey's eyes, 2 white lines streaking down her meticulously made-up face. But she seemed unaware, continuing with the same posture, reaching a hand towards me. "I know, Rocky, I'm here to steal you away. Even if you treat me as her substitute, I don't mind. I'm willing to do anything for you. Come with me, I really can't live without you. Rocky, I'm carrying your child." At her words, everyone's expressions changed. Even Tony, who had been messing around with the staff from afar, looked startled. No one expected her to drop such a bombshell. I could distinctly feel Serena stiffening behind me, her grip on my fingers tightening. I looked at her, letting out a cold laugh. Hailey, do you take me for a fool? I've wanted to break up with you for a long time, so we haven't shared a room in ages. Going back further, the timeline doesn't add up, does it? If you insist on making a scene, I'll have to drag you to the hospital. Miss Hailey, my heart only belongs to my fiancé. Hailey's face turned pale. She swayed, nearly biting her own lips until they bled. But even as she collapsed on the floor, she looked up at me, her expression unwilling to yield. What do you mean your heart only belongs to her? What am I then? What do our wonderful memories together count for? I wrapped an arm around Serena's waist and turned to face her, not even sparing a glance for Hailey. Didn't Tony say it himself? Just a fling. Why are you taking it seriously? If we had to define our relationship, we could be ordinary friends who kiss. It seemed Hailey couldn't hear a word. She cried and laughed, desperately crawling towards me, only to trip over her long gown, reaching out to grab my suit pants. Don't leave, friends are fine too. Rocky, don't go. I glanced at the furious Tony and found it ridiculous. He didn't try to pull the mad Hailey back, but was angry at me instead. Long ago they had told me that if they were to be together, I would be out of the picture. Right now that I'm out of the picture, why aren't they together? I freed my pant leg and finally replied, Hailey, I used to like you, but that's all in the past. It had ended long ago when she repeatedly chose her party-loving friends over me. I held Serena's hand and walked away step by step without looking back, completely ignoring the chaos behind me. Later, I learned that on the day of the engagement party, Serena had arranged for her cousin to film a video, planning to edit and post it online later so that netizens could share in the joy. However, Hailey's antics were too over the top, infuriating her cousin, who uploaded the unedited version online, and it quickly went viral. The H family and T family were once again put under the spotlight due to their heirs. To avoid being too adversely affected, the T family brought back an illegitimate child, declaring him the new heir. As for the H family, things were straightforward. Since Hailey was already pregnant, they forcibly married her off to Tony and launched a series of public relations measures. But unfortunately, netizens were not buying it. What started as a simple private matter was still handled by the H family's PR department with an air of superiority, which left everyone feeling frustrated, prompting a boycott. The next news about the couple appeared on a legal program. Tony had domestically abused Hailey, accidentally causing her death. Both grew up as privileged children, close yet with tempers that escalated. Hailey was truly pregnant, but the child wasn't mine. After we broke up, Hailey was heartbroken and went out drinking with Tony, resulting in a one-night stand. Hailey thought the man that night was me, and out of face, Tony didn't clarify. It wasn't until she came to crash the wedding, revealing the pregnancy, that Tony could no longer hide it. He initially thought he and Hailey would eventually marry, but he also wanted to play, so he accepted the idea of both having fun separately. But Hailey genuinely fell in love with me, which made Tony unhappy. He began to disparage me in front of Hailey, while trying to take advantage of her vulnerability. Once Hailey discovered the true identity of her child's father, she fell apart, proclaiming her intent to sue Tony. But unexpectedly, she was backstabbed by her family and forced to marry him. The T family couldn't allow their descendants to be abandoned, and soon the two were pressured to obtain a marriage certificate, becoming a pair of estranged partners. Hailey blamed Tony, claiming he caused their breakup, while Tony resented Hailey for being ungrateful, and shortly after marriage she indulged in a hedonistic lifestyle. Eventually, after a bout of drinking, they had an intense argument, during which Tony physically attacked Hailey, leading her to miscarriage. When he finally sobered up and took her to the hospital, it was too late. The baby was gone and Hailey had lost too much blood, and she was gone as well. Tony went to prison, and by the time he was released, he had lost his position in the T family. Reduced to the grassroots he had always looked down upon. This time both the H family and T family were beyond saving. Due to the series of scandals, the company's stock price plummeted. Ultimately, it was the T family's illegitimate son who stepped up, taking the initiative to seek collaboration with us. For this partnership, he offered a very sincere price, even helping me connect with people that helped me rise 3 levels in my career. My salary tripled, and with the money from the T family, I opened a studio back in my hometown. Serena became the boss here, spending most of her time in the studio, filming videos while working. Years later, our company expanded repeatedly, gaining recognition in my hometown, turning us into a well-known business couple. During a speech back at school as an outstanding graduate, Serena leaned on my shoulder, speaking softly. That year I stood under the cherry blossom tree, thinking about what you said when you turned back, and I confessed my feelings for you. But fortunately, people who love each other will not miss their chance. I have good news for you, Rocky. You are going to be a dad. Spring is about to arrive again, and our happiness continues. Hailey's epilogue. The first time I saw Rocky, I was drawn to him. He had a charm unseen in our circle. Because of this, I pursued him, even learning to cook for him. Of course, I failed. So later, I usually had the housekeeper prepare meals, or ordered takeout pretending that I had cooked. It was only later that I learned Rocky always knew. He just didn't expose me. But such a great Rocky was missed by me. I gradually forgot why I liked him, only focusing on comparing him with others in my circle, thinking he wasn't as rich as my friends, nor as interesting. When he decided to leave, I suddenly realized the truth. truth, but it seemed too late. Rocky left resolutely, not even glancing back at my desperate attempts to reconcile. I looked at my empty home, feeling a trace of loneliness. Tony kept messaging me to comfort me, which annoyed me, and I told him to stop contacting me. But he merely asked, "Are you going to give up years of friendship for a man?" Then I hesitated again, even asking him for advice to help me. Tony was actually quite the player. I knew we would marry sooner or later, but I genuinely didn't like him. After all, having experienced Rocky's wholehearted love, who would choose to be someone else's second choice? But I had to admit, I enjoyed the feeling of being cherished by two men at that time. To make Rocky change his mind, I tried numerous methods. For instance, I tried shouting at the train station, opening an account to document our love, even attempted to sever ties with Tony. I meant every word I said to Rocky. As long as he was willing to return, I would truly leave this circle and no longer socialize with Tony and the others, only accompanying him wholeheartedly. I trusted Rocky's resilience. He would surely create a future for us. For this future, I was willing to forego my dignity, making repeated efforts to get closer to him, even rushing to crash the wedding. That day's wedding dress was specially chosen by me, carrying all my fantasies about marriage, only to be thoroughly torn apart that very day. The child in my womb was actually Tony's. I hated him for betraying my trust, and I hated myself more for being blind, not taking Rocky's words to heart. Initially, the joy of discovering the pregnancy was immense. Now it brought immense pain. I thought this would be the result of our reunion, but alas, it became a punishment. No matter how unwilling I was still abandoned by the H family. In such a circle, all the benefits gained came at a price, forcing us to form alliances to exchange for the next bargaining chip. Now that I was pregnant, the bargaining chip had lost its value. Tony searched for women outside. I didn't care, but I couldn't accept being confined in the T family. Unable to even see Rocky from afar, I cried and laughed, unable to accept this life, unable to resist shouting at the drunken Tony, "If it weren't for you, if only I had been more decisive back then, blocking and deleting you, completely leaving the circle, Rocky would have definitely married me." Standing beside him now, the one wearing a happy face would be me. Tony seemed enraged by my words. Before losing consciousness, I looked at my phone, seeing their interview. Serena leaned in his embrace, as if bathed in a layer of light. Originally, this happiness could have belonged to me. It should have been mine. I closed my eyes in fury, hoping that in another life I could meet him once more. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.